And these incompetent are going to focus on salt, not sugar, not glyphosate, not forever chemicals, not endocrine disruptors, not microplastics, not crop diversity, not soil health, not clean water, not clean air. No, we're going to focus on salt now. All right, so my wife, Kelly, had never seen any of Cat Williams' comedy. And I had that here he comes, the country pimp. I had that stuck in my head. And I was like, let's just look up some Cat Williams videos. We every now and then at the end of the day, just watch some random videos on YouTube. This came up and I was like, wow. Now this was posted 2 months ago. I don't know when this is from. This is clearly years old, maybe early 2000s, peak Cat Williams time. But I want you to just check this out. And the audio is not great, but I think you'll enjoy it nonetheless. Kind of fits the narrative of today's show.
You can't even trust simple shit. We used to think our doctor gave a about us. We used to think our doctor wanted us to get better so we would be better. Our doctor don't give a about us. That motherfucker is making money and that is it. He is a drug dealer just like the drug dealers. Ain't no difference. It's up. Because the medicine commercials have really gone over the top. They don't even give a about us as people anymore. Do you remember when they used to at least have the common decency to whisper the side effect at the end of the... You could barely hear the up shit that could possibly happen to you. They just... Possible side effects are... Now these motherfuckers say the motherfucking side effect so motherfucking loud and proud, you forget what the they were supposed to be curing in the first place. And they just keep going and going. Are you tired of hangnail ruining your life? Well, just take this simple pill, and in 2 weeks, you'll be jumping rope and running back to usual. Possible side effects are loss of the rest of your toes, up ankles, dislocated kneecaps, separation of thigh meat, hip dysplasia, any outie belly button, female breasts, if you have 2 Adam's apples, if your chin falls off, if you go blind or deaf for any reason. What the Just cut my goddamn toe off, bitch. I got shit to do. I'm finding out most of this
Oh, Cat Williams, man. Love that guy. So good, but he was about, yeah. What can you say? And then you look at these things like the World Health Organization. Let's just think about the World Health Organization, how they've just lost credibility as an institution, right? Just it's been absurd, right? Again, wrong on so many things, right? You can see where their money comes from. You can see the agenda so clearly. Now, let's look at what they're working on now, because they're putting the money that we so graciously send their way, right? Because they're doing good for us. They want to keep us healthy. They're invested in keeping us healthy as a people, because if you look at the American population in the past 50 years, that has been the largest degradation of health in human history. It's absurd. We are fast tracking ourselves to Wall-E, dog. Like, it is out of hand, right? It's out of hand. There are so many things going on. Our food is poisonous, right? People are addicted to their phones. Right? We have chemicals in our water and food that have endocrine disruptors that are fueling some wild shit. And I think that might be the reason behind the trans acceptance agenda, and that being pushed so hard because the endocrine disruptors are turning the goddamn frogs gay. That's where we're at. It's crazy. It's crazy. This is all going on. And here is what the WHO is focused on right now. Let's check this shit out. The WHO benchmarks to help countries reduce salt intake and save lives. We're going to take salt. Salt is the problem. Salt is the issue. A chemical that we have been ingesting and adapting to for millions of years. That is an essential nutrient that we have to consume at all points of our lives. And they're saying that salt is the problem. Not glyphosate, not sugar, salt. That's the thing. The thing that has been a part of humanity since humanity has existed. That we have evolved the ability to regulate for millions of years. Millions of years. And that's what the WHO is focused on and spending our money on right now. We eat Roundup in our food all the time. Every grain in this country, for the most part, has been poisoned. The soil has been poisoned by Roundup, and we're talking about goddamn salt. You need to create an initiative to help countries eat less salt. Meanwhile, anybody who knows a goddamn thing about health is drinking 1 or 2 packets of Element a day and having 5 times the recommended intake of salt from the WHO. And look at me. Do I look like I need help figuring out my own health? And just like we always say along with me now, whatever the government says to do when it comes to health, what do you do? What do you do, everybody? I'm like Miss Rachel now. When the government gives you health advice, what do you do? The opposite. You're better off doing the opposite. Don't eat eggs. Eat them. Red meat's bad for you. Eat it. Don't eat salt. Drink the shit. Element.com/wanders. So, I mean, give me a break here. Are you serious? And here's the thing. They go down and they talk about how there's some charts in here and shit, but like the trends, right? That increased salt intake leads to worse health outcomes and heart issues and all. You know, this is like 1980s science, right? Food pyramid, OG food pyramid shit, right? So these guys, it's the salt. It's the salt. Are you sure it's the salt? Are you sure it's not high quantities of salt that are also involved in highly processed foods full of all kinds of shit that you can't even pronounce, on top of the glyphosate and everything else that gets put in there that's on every goddamn crop because Roundup has poisoned the country, right? Like, give me a break. Give me a break. You're going to focus on this, on salt intake. Maybe it's the things that salt are in, right? If you get shot, do you get mad about the person with the gun or the bullet? Did the bullet do anything? No. It moved. It got initiated by somebody holding something. But it wasn't the bullet's fault. It's not the salt's fault. It's maybe the salt that's in all the things that we also consume as an obese nation that has decreased the priority of health and lives on poverty foods as if we're starving. And the funny fact is, the ironic thing is that as a nation, we are starving of nutrients and nutrient-dense foods and crop diversity. We are starving, for sure. And these incompetent are going to focus on salt, not sugar, not glyphosate, not forever chemicals, not endocrine disruptors, not microplastics. Right? All of those things are being ingested all the time. Not crop diversity, not soil health, not clean water, not clean air. No, none of that shit. We're going to focus on salt now. What are they giving these people money for? They've proven themselves completely incompetent. Defund the WHO, please. China pay for all of it. They do their bidding any goddamn way. Insane.